Hey guys, it's Mason the Brock Henderson here, and I know that Criminal Minds was yesterday, and there's no review up for that one yet, but today really wasn't feeling well, feeling a bit better now, but I didn't have a chance to watch it because I was watching the Chelsea game yesterday, which was on at the same time. So I'll get that sometime this weekend out. Uh, but anyway, the show that definitely doesn't help the fact that I have a really bad headache right now. Bones, again, formula, script, all just, alright guys, this seems to be working, let's just keep putting it up. Okay, whenever it's a case about a politician, you've got so many different angles to take it. You've got so many interesting things, whatever they're working on, it could be involved with that. You've always got, scandals, you've got media stuff, but it could be stuff that's happening outside of the media. You've got all these interesting things, and they went the same route. As soon as, they find out that whoever's been killed is a senator, as soon as they go into their house, or to his house to tell the wife, you meet the wife and you meet his assistant, I guess. I think it was his assistant. And as soon as I saw them, I'm like, one of these, if they're, this is me actually talking to myself in the middle of the episode, because I'm kind of weird like that. As soon as I saw them, I said to myself, alright, if this is going by the same old Bones formula that they've been doing for several weeks now, one of these two did it and they're likely having an affair. And he may have had an affair too. And sure enough, they had an affair. The assistant did it. And it's all there. It's so easy to figure out because they've done it so many times now. And I wanted them to change it up a bit. Um, Going back a few weeks to the fantasy football one, which was completely stupid to make a murder about fantasy football, but I was hoping maybe it wasn't about fantasy football. Maybe that was just going to be the thing tying them together, because he was cheating on one guy's wife that was angry. That's a good reason for it's a decent reason for murder. There was something else. He screwed over one guy who was trying to do something with foreclosing his house or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was now. That was a decent motive, but it's because this kid working at a burger joint didn't want to lose his job as football fantasy commissioner because that's such a high paying title. And that was the reason for murder. In this one, they had so many different good storylines going on that they just threw away. And in the end, it's like if you suspect somebody as the audience, if you suspect that person and they get talked to 15 minutes before the end or 10 minutes before the end, it's not them. It's always, well, we think it's that person. No, it's not them. Maybe that person, not them. Maybe that person, not them. And then with like 3 minutes left in the show, there's some case-breaking like fact found, and they're like, it's that person. And it's always that. And so, as they're going into the final 5 minutes of the show, they suspect the wife and the majority whip of the wife has the needle that killed him. She's a diabetic, so the needle fits. The whip, she has the medical or medicinal practice. She knows doctors. She is a doctor, so she had the ability to get her hands on the stuff that killed him. But there's still like 5 minutes left in the show, and I'm just like, well, it's about to be revealed that it's neither of them. And sure enough, it wasn't. It was the assistant bashing his head in and cut his hand on. And I'm just like, this is so set up and so obvious. And maybe it's just me. Like maybe I'm some super genius. I'm a smart guy, but I'm not that smart. I don't think. And just is it? I mean, please, if you're watching this right now and you're a fan of the show like I am, was this episode as obvious as I think it was? Because I called it from the very beginning. Um, but other than that, I don't know, everything else was such a cliche too. I'm getting really sick of the opening scenes when somebody discovers the body because they're doing the same stuff now. like, how many times have we seen two stupid people doing something stupid that messes up the body, so now they have to, instead of having a full body that they could examine and pick up the pace, these idiots on this garbage collector slash street cleaner decide, oh, what happens if we turn this thing on instead of just going and picking up the garbage because there's a raccoon out there? Oh, it's just a prank, right? This isn't a real body. Oh, let me taste this. Oh, cornstarch, right? It was so stupid. And there are stupid people, but are there really people that are this stupid in the world? Probably, maybe one or two, but how come they all end up in bones? Every single episode, it feels like, or not every episode, but it feels like every 3 episodes, we have this opening scene where some, like, the bottom of the food chain in humanity is doing their job or something, and then they do something stupid that messes up the skull or the body. I mean, a couple weeks ago, it was a father and son in the woods, and the son shoots the skull apart, and it's solely for the purpose so that they don't have a full body, and it just makes their job harder. And it doesn't make any, like, that's the only reason. It's just a plot device thrown in so that they don't get a clear look at the body to start off with, and it makes the show go longer because now they've got to put the body together. Now they've got to deal with missing parts, and now Hodgins have to go out into the woods and track down whoever, whatever animal ate the rest of the body. That was not this episode. But that's the main purpose, is just to make the show longer so they can't just have a complete set of the body. Now it's all torn up by this garbage disposal machine or whatever, street cleaner. So that's frustrating. But the case itself, like I said, I thought was very obvious. All this stuff that they're going into about the legislation, the people that he's affecting, it's never, it's not this person, it's not this person, it's not this person. It looks like it might be these two, but it's not. Last ditch fact, oh, it's this guy. And sure enough, he was having an affair with the wife, and basically, I can't remember exactly. He killed him so she could be in the office because he disagreed with something he was voting for. And so if he killed him, she would get voted into office, and because they were having an affair, he thought it was real, and that they would be together, and that they could do so much together. Another affair cliche. Oh, but it wasn't real for you? I thought you really felt something. No, she didn't. Get over it. But all the other stuff in the episode leading up to this point just felt like immaterial. He has this daughter that it was a one night stand that he had the victim. It was a one night stand he had, and he ended up with the daughter because of it. But because he didn't want media trouble, gives her away for adoption, and it doesn't mean anything. Like, literally, it just, Bones sees that it's his daughter, and you think, oh, is something gonna happen because of this? Is did he get killed because of this? No, it's just, I don't even know the reason why I was in there. It was just something. Oh, politics. Politicians. They've always got. Well, we all know that. If you honestly think that there are several honest politicians, you're probably just ignorant, or just ignorance is bliss. One of those people, that doesn't pay attention to anything, that thinks that everything's happy, happy-go-lucky. America's the best country in the world. Politicians are corrupt, so of course they have stories like this. You don't have to shove it in our face just to waste, another 10 minutes of the show. Give us something else. Give us more character development. Give us another twist in the case. Make it more exciting. Maybe give us some action. But no, it's just, politician has a daughter that he gave up for adoption because he didn't want her to be found out by the media. And that's all you need to know. On with the case. Thanks for that. It's completely pointless. And even like the the whole thing where it looked like he had gotten poisoned, so well, most of the time women are the poisoners. And I'm sitting there thinking it's probably a man then. Like the way this show handles plot twists is like it's almost like M Night Shyamalan. Like let me just throw in a twist in there just for the plot twist. It's if you're gonna throw in a plot twist, make it one that's actually shocking, not just you thought it was a woman this whole time, but it's actually this guy and he's a man. In your face, we shocked you. No, you didn't. I'm getting a headache again thinking about it. Like, it's just so obvious, so set up, so cliche. But that's just the case. Let me get into the personal lives a bit. Because once again, just like in every single episode recently, any personal problems going on get solved instantly within one episode. I will give credit to last season for this. Whenever Brennan found out about Booth's gambling problems, that was actually a good personal story problem. The cases themselves weren't anything interesting, but that actually had me interested. Like I was honestly like, holy crap, this is something that really matters. She kicks him out of the house. And of course by the end of the season they're back together again, but still it was something interesting because it didn't have a happy ending at the end of that episode. She finds out about his gambling addiction and kicks him out of the house. And you're just like, wow, that's very real. But all of these, like, the two main personal storylines going on. First, you got Booth and Bones. Booth wants to get a TV, and mainly because the kids are going to be watching their kid shows, he wants a TV so he can watch hockey, watch the game. And Brendan's like, well, no, if we, statistically, if we get a TV in our bedroom, we're less likely to have sex. And you're just like, okay. And, this show has done this from time to time where whenever they get on the topic of sex, Brendan's just spouting out statistics and stuff and treats it not like a human. And it does lead to a couple funny lines. Like with, what's her name? The lawyer. I only know her from one other show, and not even a show I'm happy to mention. She was the next door neighbor in Good Luck Charlie, the mean old woman. But she, I really Carolyn, right? Whatever. I really like her character, and I really wish they would have more of her because she shows up. She wasn't hardly in last season at all, but this season she's shown up in a couple episodes. I always love whenever her character's on there because she's funny. It's fun to see her interact with these characters. But they have one line where she's telling Booth that Brennan shouldn't be there when he talks to the family of the senator because she has this way of just spouting whatever's on her mind, not holding back, and saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. And she's like, yes, but I can also say the right thing at the right time. Like this morning, whenever I talked Booth into having sex, and she's just like, wow, Sherry, you just made my point better than I ever could, and just walks away. And then Booth's like, actually it was 3 times, and she hears it, and she just like stiffens and keeps walking. So, I mean, that's honestly the only good thing I can talk about in this episode, is that the jokes at some points were good. And honestly, that's the only thing worth mentioning this season so far, besides the first 2 episodes, is the jokes have been fairly good, and they're always fairly good. There's always stuff to laugh at. But that doesn't make up the whole show. The whole show is not, it's not How I Met Your Mother, where it's based on laughs. And even How I Met Your Mother went beyond that and told a great story. This show it's not just the laughs, it's mainly the cases and the characters. And when the characters go through this thing where, it doesn't seem, they're having all the talk about statistics and blah blah blah, at the end she's going to get a TV for Booth because that's how this story goes so often. The other one is Aubrey and I'm not going to remember her name either. The red-haired squint, the one that trusts her gut a lot and is like the she's very smart, but she's the opposite of Brennan, who is all about facts and science. And she's very smart too, and she can take facts and science, but she does a lot of inferences and makes guesses and makes you know she trusts her gut more than Brennan does. Brennan will trust what she sees over her gut. Um, but they started this kind of romance at the beginning of this season, um, and I liked what they did with it at first because Aubrey is told by uh, whatever her name is. That's gonna bug me. I'm gonna have to look that up. Um, but he's told by the woman, the lawyer, that he needs to look up her past, just so you know, for case reasons. If she has issues, they won't be able to. They won't be able to use her. My phone's not cooperating. I'm sorry. But they won't be able to use her if she has issues in the past, and so he looks it up and finds like all of these misdemeanors and stuff that she, a lot of issues with protesting rallies, um, issues that really she's gotten in a lot of trouble for. Um, and so he's kind of like, whoa, like I didn't know all this about you. Like even when he first talks to it is Carolyn. I was right. The girl's name is Jessica. Okay. So when Carolyn talks to him, he even says, "It's Jessica. I know her. There's nothing to worry about." So when he's looking all this stuff up, it's like, wow, I didn't know any of this stuff about you. And she's just like, but it's in the past. It doesn't affect the here and now. And it's the same old relationship stuff. If you didn't know something about your other, then likely, when you find out about it, it's going to be shocking. It's going to be kind of like, whoa, we need to talk about this. But the thing that I liked about it is Carolyn didn't want him to look it up for the case. She saw this romance blooming. She knew all this stuff about Jessica and wanted Aubrey to know, because he has a promising career and somebody like her could really affect that. What I didn't like is they went the cliche route after that. He's perfectly fine with all that. He's just like, I choose you. It's blah blah blah. I've seen this done so many times where they find out this shocking thing that they didn't know before, and it's like, well, I didn't know about this. What if this isn't meant to be? What? In the end, it all works out okay. This is a bigger deal because in this episode, he talks about how he wants to be a senator. He wants to be a congressman because that's his goal. And honestly, when it's a character like Aubrey, you're kind of like, yeah, I could see him as a politician. Obviously he's not the lying politician, but I could see him in that role, and somebody like Jessica could affect that. But it's like he doesn't even care. It's like you got your career or you got her. And once again, what show is that? Oh, Fargo. When Peggy, the main character, her husband is like, he's trying to buy a shop, but they don't have enough money, and so this other woman is trying to tell her use the money to go to a seminar that can help her be a better self, but he needs the money to buy the shop so they can make money for their family, and she puts it into the seminar, and the lady's like, you don't let him tell you what to do. And it's like, yourself, your future, and your family. Yourself, your future, and your family. Like, what's the bigger deal? And obviously that's better crafted into the show because Fargo's a much better show than this. But this is like, Aubrey, Aubrey's future. What's more important? Obviously the future, obviously your career, and you're throwing it all away for this girl that you haven't even really started dating yet, that constantly talks about the fact that, she thinks monogamy is great. So you're getting into a relationship with a girl that might possibly, want an open relationship with you, and you're throwing away a promising career as a congressman or a high-ranking FBI agent for that. And everything that I know about Aubrey's character makes me say, this isn't Aubrey. This is not Bones. This is a completely different show. Somebody's replaced Aubrey's body with it's some sort of body snatcher thing. He's an alien. That's what's going on. Because it totally goes against his character. And I don't know if new writers have taken over the show or what, but this season just doesn't feel like Bones. All the cases are just poorly written. And like I said, the first 2 episodes are the only real good episodes. And that's just because they were intense. You're like, what's going to happen to Booth? Really setting up like Booth might die. But ever since then, it's just been bland case, go through the formula. You can probably guess who the bad guy is within the first 15 minutes of the show, and that's it. Personal lives, same old cliches that we've seen about 100 different times in 100 different shows. So that's about it for Bones tonight. Thank goodness I got 2 much better shows to talk about after this. But that's pretty much it. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.